Good morning. Just coming out of Hiawassee, Georgia. I should be crossing into North Carolina much later today. I'll be staying at Musk Creek Gap Shelter way up on the mountain. It's probably about maybe 30 degrees. I was a little apprehensive earlier until I started hiking and I warmed right up. I almost feel like taking off this top layer already, but I'm not going to because it's cold. And so just want to show you the trail. Yikes. Just want to show you the trail. Right now I'm going up that way. Everything is snow covered. But again, I feel pretty good. So I'm going to go about 11 miles today. And hopefully I'll see you at Muskrat Creek Shelter. See ya. So what happened yesterday is I hiked 5 miles in and it was so cold. It was so cold when I crested this one mountain and the wind was blowing about 35 knots. And I turned around, hiked 5 miles back out. What I try to do is drink as much water as I can at these water spots, and then filter some water. So basically, the way you do it is you take this off the knock bag, open it up, go to this nice water. Probably doesn't even have to be filtered, honestly, but fill up this bag with water. Put this clip back on, and then you screw this cap off. Put the Sawyer squeeze on. It's a great water source. This is actually a spring that comes right out of the mountain about 100 yards up. You just can't get to that spot. And then you roll down on this, and then you just fill up your water. Just sort of comes out like this. So I want to give a shout out to Fran for being so supportive and holding down the fort at home. Appreciate it. She works in developing countries, so whenever she's gone, I hold down the fort for her. Shout out to Bibiana for keeping Sweet Fran company while I'm gone. Appreciate that. Glad you guys turned out to be such nice friends. Shout out to Jacob and Lucas. Maybe watching these videos will inspire you to do some hiking or camping, or maybe even the Appalachian Trail one day. They already do a lot of stuff, 4-H and basketball, and they've got great parents. And then shout out to my mom. She's watching this, and Sarah, both in their 80s. Still can't quite figure out how to work the YouTube. Maybe you'll figure it out one day. And shout out to this one young lady. Her name is Callie. She lives in the Southwest. She's kind of like sort of not a psychic, an imam. I'm not sure what you call it, but she's got these sort of kind of psychic gifts almost. She's a people person. But anyway, long story short, thank you for the kind words of encouragement. Appreciate it. She's trying to start a business. She's got a website. She does astrology readings and all kinds of crazy stuff. And as soon as I figure out what the website is, I will share it. You guys should support her. She's trying real hard. So I'm gonna hike another, I don't know, 8 miles. Yeah, I think I've got 8 miles to go. So this is the trail today. Coming out of Hiawassee again. This is just after I filtered that water, and it's really pretty. There's zero wind. Again, the reason why I hiked back out yesterday is the temperature was about 24 degrees. The wind was blowing 35 miles an hour up this giant valley. So it was like 35-mile-an-hour wind blowing out of a freezer. And I sort of felt like I didn't have quite the gear to, I don't know, maybe I just got scared. I'm going to tell you the good, bad, and ugly. It's easy to share the good stuff. It's harder to share the ugly stuff. So I learned something. I probably would have been okay. I don't know why I chickened out. I just chickened out. So there you go. But right now it's the same exact temperature as yesterday. You can still see the snow and ice on the ground. And but there's, like, for instance, like right here, there's zero wind. I already took my hat off. I'm actually sweating from hiking. I mean, this is perfect. I could hike in this all day long. No, not a problem. So grateful to be out here. Such a nice day. Feeling super energized again. Again, probably the next time I want to get some miles in. So I will see you at the Georgia-North Carolina border. That'll be a milestone. That'll be my first state. So, feeling grateful. That climb out of Bly Gap was no joke. That wore me out. My legs feel like rubber. Going through I guess this is what they call the green tunnel. I know I'm not that great a filmer, but there you go. This is what they call, I guess, the green tunnel. Kind of cool. Where these rhododendrons sort of overhang the trail on both sides. It's a pretty nice day. I think it's probably at least 40 degrees. Perfect for hiking. Anyway, you just have to bear with this. My camera crew is still at the bottom of Bly Gap, so I have to film this myself. So I also want to just give a shout out to David and Susan, my neighbors. Susan gave me this little troll with rainbow hair that sticks straight up, and she asked me to carry it along this journey with me. And then I'm just sort of, I don't know, posing it, showing it in front of some highlights, and so they can share it with their grandkids and sort of educate them on geography, sort of, I don't know, show them what the trail is like and stuff like that. I think Susan is good with people and kids and all that kind of stuff. So yeah. Oh, thank you. Yeah, maybe I'll get some water. Maybe I'll just chug some water and grab some. Looks like I made it to the North Carolina-Georgia border. There's a sign right over my shoulder. I don't know if you can see that. You know, if anyone's wondering how I find my way around these woods and don't get off track and find water sources, there's an app called Gut Hook. It's a weird name. You can get it from the Apple App Store, and the download is free. And then the very first mini section from Amicalola Falls to Springer Mountain is free. So you could check out how I'm navigating and getting around and looking at elevations and finding water sources and finding campsites and distances and elevations, and they've even got pictures of what the shelters and water sources look like. So, okay, I've got 2 huge climbs to do by the end of the day. I'm going up to Muskrat Creek Shelter. So there it is. Believe it or not, my first date done. This is what the trail looks like today. I started at 5 a.m., which is my trail name now. I sort of pack up while everybody else is sleeping. Hopefully I don't get killed when I'm going down this crazy part right here. Feel pretty good. I think today is the first time I can say I have trail legs, so that's good. I'm not hiking with, but I ran into yesterday and the day before a lady called, her name is Poppins because she has an umbrella. She looks like Mary Poppins. Some people took an overnight stealth camp because Muskrat Creek Shelter was full and loud. So we went another mile up the trail and just kind of made our own camp. And one of the girls there, her name was, she's got a YouTube channel called Hiking with Braids. There's another couple I met in town. They're in Hiawassee. The one guy had an ankle injury, so he recovered from that because they're young. And so they made the same camp we did. And then this other guy, don't know his name, he's hiking with a kind of a big dog. So he came to camp right at dark. And I guess those 4 were sort of hiking together. So I left them like an hour and a half ago, so I'm ahead of the pack. I'm headed toward standing Indian shelter, where I may use the privy there. And then I think I'm going to Carter Gap. I could be wrong on the name. It's about 11.5 mile day. It looks cold. It is cold. It's not bad when you're hiking. So I feel pretty good. And I'll catch you up the trail. This is a cool bridge in the middle of nowhere. I mean, I'm halfway up Standing Indian Mountain. I mean, that's a big mountain behind me, which I came down. And then, I don't know how they built this here, but here is a bridge. You can see it's marked with the white blaze for the AT, and it looks like they started with a log that they chopped down, and then you just hike across it. It's got a nice railing. I mean, in the middle of nowhere. And then here's a water source if you needed it. It's just a little spring-fed stream coming out of the mountain, and then it goes the rest of the way down. So onward and upward. Climbing Albert Mountain. Rained all day yesterday, but I'm so high. I mean, you can see the clouds whipping over the mountains in the background. Anybody coming up behind me, Albert Mountain is no joke. No joke. It's the toughest climb of The hike so far, by far. Okay, now it's all socked in. So it happens that fast. I'm at the top of Albert. This is just Albert Mountain. These clouds change so fast. I was able to see the town like 1 second ago. But this is the tower at the top of Albert Mountain. I'm not going to climb that. There's really no view anyway. So here is the 100-mile mark. So I've gone 100 miles. Pretty cool. Hundred miles, 100 miles, 100 miles. Shout out to my friend Jesse in Chicago. Wish you could have gone on this hike with me. Thinking about you, even though I haven't answered any of your texts. 100 miles, Francis. All right, now I'm gonna start heading back down. It was a long way up. It's a long way down. I think I'm up above 5,000 feet. So again, anybody coming up behind me, man, take your time, be careful. It's just a straight rock climb. It's not even a trail, it's a rock climb, so be careful. I bet you the views would be nice from up here, but nobody wants to look at a fog bank. So this is what the top of Albert Mountain looks like. No way I'm going up there. If it was clear, I'd do it. So I started off in the dark this morning. As usual, again, my trail name is 5 a.m., so I'm on the trail by 5. Still coming down off of Albert Mountain. You know, I researched gear for so long, and, you know, they said wool, no cotton, synthetics, and after some real practice with wool, I finally understand why they say wool, because wool keeps you warm. Even if it's wet. I hiked all day in the rain yesterday, didn't get much filming done. Of course, I kept some dry clothes to sleep in, which then you sleep really warm. But this morning I had to put on 2 wet wool layers, and they were freezing cold. They were soaking wet. And then I had my beanie that you see me wearing, that black one, that's actually fleece from Under Armour, and even though I had to put on wool, cold, like literally soaking, I could have wrung my 2 shirts. I have a 150 merino wool base layer and then a 250 long sleeve merino wool over that, and I could have wrung water on them when I put them on this morning, freezing in my tent. And about 5 minutes after I had them on, I warmed right up, and that's all I have on now. I've got those 2 basically wool t-shirts and then my rain gear, which acts as a windbreaker. It's gonna rain today again, 100% chance. Trying to get into Franklin, dry all this stuff out. I also am finding that I'm glad I didn't buy carbon fiber trekking poles, because these poles have been stuck in rocks, crevices, and roots. They get stuck, and then you're at a pace, and they sort of wind up behind you, and they wind up bending a little bit because they're stuck so hard. So if they were carbon fiber, they would have been lighter, but I probably would have snapped a couple poles already. These are just bending, so that's pretty cool. So far, all the gear I have is working out pretty well. I added this foam mat to put underneath my Thermarest air mattress. I think that came in helpful. I slept a lot warmer, from the ground cold, and then I think it'll help me going up through the Smokies. So All right, maybe I'll talk to you when I get a little bit further down this mountain because it's killing me. Goodbye. Oh, the up was a lot harder. This is nothing. Coming up was like a straight rock face. It's crazy.